On this episode, the CAPS team travels to Upper Michigan to investigate the Menominee anomaly. Our team has been granted special permission to do a 3-day, 2-night investigation at the Hyden Adventure.
Hello, I'm Craig Salk.
Meet Craig Salk. Craig and his wife Barb have owned and lived on their 80-acre hunting property, 8 miles north of Menominee, Michigan, since 1992. Both are avid hunters and spend more than 250 days out of the year in the woods on their property. In 2002, Craig bought and placed the first trail cam on the property and has captured bear, deer, eagles, coyotes, fox, raccoons, and even a cow. But that's a whole other story. But above all this, one series of 3 photos stands out above the rest, and it is the reason not only the CAPS team is here, but also why their property was paid a visit from Animal Planet's Finding Bigfoot. On May 9th, 2012, one of the cameras captured 3 photos, but it's the one in the middle that caught Craig's eye.
When I first saw these 3 photos, I knew there was something wrong with that anomaly in the middle. So I saved all 3 of them photos and just kept flipping through them. And I'm thinking, that I don't know what that is in the photo. So that's why I kept it. And I thought, this is something. And I just wanted experts to come and, somebody tell me what is in this photo.
Hey everyone, this is Cliff Barrickman from Finding Bigfoot. I'm reporting to you from the North American Bigfoot Center out in Oregon. This is Murphy behind me. And I just wanted to make a short little video just kind of talking about the evidence and the property that Craig and Barb find themselves living on. It's very interesting. It certainly is very squatchy property. And that game cam photograph might be the real deal. There's no way any of us can ever know. But I've always thought of it like this. If it's not a Bigfoot, what is it? It might be a person maybe, but the shirt isn't built like a person. It's very short and squat. I mean, maybe not short, but like very squat and heavy and robust. And it sure seems peculiar that a person would be there. Of course, what are the chances of catching a Sasquatch being there at that same moment too? So that's also interesting. I remember doing the night investigation on the property. I don't remember if we got anything. I don't think we did. But man, it is squatchy there and great habitat. And I think that picture is probably of a Sasquatch. None of us will ever know for sure, but it sure is compelling. It sure is interesting. And as those little teases keep us running after the prize, it keeps us reaching for that gold ring of a fantastic photograph. And I just want to, thank Craig and Barb for sharing the photograph with us on Finding Bigfoot, and then of course sharing their love for Sasquatch with all of us.
According to Cliff from Finding Bigfoot, the anomaly is 6 feet tall. What we have here is the 5-foot version. And we use this at the Hyden Adventure to show exactly how big this creature was in the photo. I'm 6'3", 300 pounds. And The 5-foot version dwarfs even me.
When Finding Bigfoot originally investigated, they believed that the anomaly was 6 foot because they thought it was standing. But later, after further analysis, they now believe that it was in a kneeling position with its back to the camera. That's why it appears one solid color. Why did you open your property up to people to come and look at your evidence?
Well, originally we had so many people calling wanting to see it, and being that we didn't know exactly what was in the photo, although we really believed at the time it was a Bigfoot, the idea was let people come and decide for themselves. I always thought about why didn't they go to where the Patterson-Gimlin film was shot in 1967 and go investigate that. I mean, they could have done a lot better work when it was all fresh, and they could have got a better idea. So what we've set up here is come, this is what the experts have told us, and a person can decide for themselves. And it's really, we don't look at this as a business or like a tourist destination. This is more educational. People come, look, Bigfoot's real. Me and my wife know that it's a real thing because all the activity we've had that we were totally oblivious to in 2012. But since then, and then you can start to put the pieces together, oh my, these things really are real. But when people come here, it's not my job to convince you that they're real. It's my job to just present my evidence that we've captured here on the property and let you decide for yourself.
We set up base camp in the big grassy field where Craig usually does his tours of the evidence that they have gathered. Next, we set up 4 high-resolution security cameras around the perimeter. The first on a small hill overlooking the north edge of Craig's property. We set out 5 apples, 3 on the camera, and 2 just out of the camera's view to act as bait for whatever wanted to come eat them. The second camera will be aimed to the northeast corner, looking down 3 shooting lanes that Craig has cut across his property. At this camera, we hung a jar of peanut butter on a length of paracord roughly 7 feet above the middle of the trail, hopefully higher than a deer or a bear could reach standing on its hind legs, but just the right height for a large, hairy bipedal ape. Our third camera will be aimed to the south along another shooting lane, closer to where the Hyden trail cam photo was originally taken, just east of base camp. Our last camera will be aimed to the south of camp, aimed down a shooting lane and at the porta potty in case anything decides to investigate us while we are busy. The footprint that you found back here, how big was that by the swamp?
We had 17-inch indentions, 11 of them. Oof. And then the other track, the wet track, was 12 3/4. So this tank and that platform was back there on the other side of the pond.
Yep.
We moved it in August because I'm just too scared to go back there. So this is where the tank was. So for us to actually move our very best hunting spot, you know, it wasn't like we just picked it up and moved it. That was a big undertaking. And I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think it was, you know, probably the right thing to do. We've heard like wood knocks here. We've heard some whooping kind of stuff. And all of it seems to be right back in here.
What about howls?
Oh yes, son. We've heard the gamut out here, and it's always. But I maybe they come from here, or maybe they come around that along the edge of our property.
You see it right there? Oh, better than right here, I should have. Right there.
Oh.
Go ahead. You want to go look at it? Go ahead. Me and Mom are over here.
looks like just a lot of leaves and stuff,
Yeah,
but
now it just really does.
You got a footprint?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
actually, yeah, could be. I see it. 1, 2, 3.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything.
I can't see where the heel ends though.
It's like right there.
What about that looks flat over here too.
Yeah, but that doesn't look. Oh, there.
Yeah.
It's something, but yeah.
I just caught that every time my eyes.
So anyway, theory. They come through there, drop down in here to screw with us, or they go on the back side of the pond and they'll circle all the way around you. And if I don't have that good a hearing, but people who have good hearing will say, okay, I hear something walking. Well, I think, okay, it's a deer, until they come and knock on the barrel.
Yeah.
Then that changes things.
Fall naturally.
Yeah, but do they also stack sticks like that naturally?
No.
So how tall are you, Craig?
6'3", 310 pounds of nothing but blubber.
You are so kind.
So proud of that.
Okay, so here's the deal. It fell off this tree.
This one did.
Right, so you have two trees that are missing their tops. And this piece matches up, because if you go on the other side, you can see that how it's like angled out there, matches up with this. Now that's been in the ground a year or two. Which, if this was just like this, that wouldn't have bothered me. So if there's just one tree, I could go by this all day long. But when I first seen this, I was just riding along through here, and it was just like this. First time I've ever seen it. And that is impossible since we drive down here all the time, especially in the fall and stuff.
How long ago did you find this?
I have it written down.
Okay.
Okay, Woodsman. This is you. Explain it to me.
Well, it is possible this one fell, and this one snapped off the process and came down. But
That's all you have. That's
Yeah.
the best you can do.
yeah. Okay. Well, on the septic side, my turn to play skeptic again.
Sure.
Okay, that's what it is then.
It's Bigfoot. On a skeptic side, this is Bigfoot.
There's too many piled up.
Okay. It's just, it seems too much for me.
Yeah.
I would agree, actually. This one naturally down. Yeah, I'd agree.
Well, come on over to this side, Steve. What's his name again, Barney?
Luke.
Luke.
Yeah.
It's
I think when you guys, like, whatever you're going to do tomorrow or whatever, I think you will find stuff like this. I
that's
don't
what
go
we're
in the
looking
woods.
for, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I saw this in the road. So.
I was telling him,
Oh, yeah.
see how it loops. And then there's the big thing right here that he's looking at.
Yeah, why does it do that?
Could have grown that way, but I don't know why. Nothing else in the area does.
That does. Just not of it.
You have like energy or anything you feel, or?
Well, yeah, that's why I started coming this way. And then all of a sudden I saw it, and I was like, oh, okay. Weird. I just felt pulled this way. That's all. This whole area back here, ever since before you started talking about it when we were sitting there, and I was telling your wife, I'm like, this whole area back here just has such a pull, and I want to be back here. I want to wander around and poke around.
This is where I hear the Oriental talking. Yeah, but it seems like it's back in here and then it can go around. It comes through with it.
Let's get a
This is from the
audio recorder out here tonight.
Okay.
I agree.
Right back over there, there's a lot of sticks piled too. I couldn't see from over there what it actually was, but you can see it's like a little...
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something, Barnaby. This was like when, like the first year we started out here, or the second year, so it was 5 years ago, maybe, let's say. It seemed like through this area, there were 20 of these, and all like this. There was like 20 of them, and I was just a ruthless person, didn't know any better. I just went in there and knocked them all over. But now, when I think back, it's like that was something, and there were so many of them. It was in a short area.
But look at that right there. There's another stick, another teepee.
Wow.
You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see it from over there, but I couldn't tell if it was actually something or... Huh? Craig, is that your deer stand right there?
No, that's been abandoned. We did put it there like 15 years ago.
This one's the same way. It's all built in together.
Natural or not?
No. Same as that, only smaller. It's pointing. There's another one here. Look at this.
Are the grapevines holding back?
Could be, but this one's broken over into that direction. You see? Right here?
Yes.
This is snapped off over to that. They're all in a line. Where's the other one now? Right there.
That's right.
This one, that one goes, this one's kind of, actually, we're off center. This one.
Now that could have fell in there.
That one could have, yeah. And that one's not involved in that structure up there at all. It's close to it, but it's not in it, you know?
So what's your opinion on that?
Well, if you look at, there's the little one there.
Yep.
Then you go here, and then you're a little bit, oh, no, actually you're not, because you got to come back over here. This one's right here. So you go here, there, and you're lined right up with the other one in a straight line with the points of them, or the tip.
Cool.
Yeah? 8:22 p.m. Friday, May 22nd, Hyden Adventure by the Big X, audio recording overnight. We decided to hang the apples and another jar of peanut butter on the large stick structure over the weekend to see if anything would be drawn in. While we were doing this, we began to hear a series of whoops coming from the west of Craig's property. We set up the audio recorder and managed to catch a single whoop and later what could be wood knocks. The plan for Friday night was observation and documentation. Let whatever is out there come find us on its own terms. Derek, Luke, and myself staked out under the carport in base camp, and Ma and Fathom turned in for the night. Yep. While staking out at the carport, we spotted a light in the woods that turned out to be the indicator from the security camera. But on our way back to camp, I heard what I would have swore was talking.
Beautiful night.
Who's there?
Fathom, I think.
What do you think?
She finally decided to exit her tent.
What's dark tonight?
Somebody talking back here? Fathom, you still awake? Were you just talking?
Nope.
Really?
You're talking now,
We just heard talking coming from back this way. Thought it was you two talking about where the hell we went.
Big thing or a little tiny thing?
It's like if somebody walked by and tapped on it.
I don't see anything over by your car.
I didn't see any shadows or anything, I just kind of went bump.
At about 10 p.m. Friday night, I observed a odd dancing light on the porta-potty camera. It is not a spiderweb across the screen, because later Luke is able to walk in front of it, nor is it a bug because we have observed them before and this is different. Also the fact that it stays there for quite a while, where bugs tend to zoom in and out of frame. I monitored it from the van while I sent Derek and Luke to investigate. Luke and Derek, if you want to walk down there, I'll tell you where it is and tell me if you see anything.
Alright. I think I just saw it.
Okay, from where you are, it is up to your left.
That's where I saw it.
It's right there now.
I don't see it right now.
Walk farther, keep coming, now go to your right.
Right.
Left, I'm sorry.
Right. Oh, you retarded.
Hold on.
It's not by the tree, it's kind of hovering right at the corner of the two paths.
Okay. I see on thermal.
You got me. I'm 10 feet from the road, and I see nothing.
Walk to the right, towards the porta potty.
Well,
Towards the left.
towards the left?
Yeah, sorry, left.
Short.
Jesus. Hold on.
Oh,
There we go.
God damn, that sucked.
Alright, now we're on the road.
What if I get there?
Keep going. Alright, stop right there. From where I am, it's right above your head, Luke. A little bit back, but yeah.
I see satellite.
Huh?
It's not that high. It's maybe
Satellite.
3 feet above your
Where?
head.
Right there, moving.
Where?
The star's moving.
Hey, we see a satellite in the sky, buddy.
No mystery light.
It's there.
Above my head.
From on the camera angle, it's above your head. Yeah, I don't know where depth-wise it is, but yeah.
If you were there, you'd be looking right at it.
Nothing.
It's moving.
Where?
It's still above your head, but it's moving around.
Portal?
No, it's more like a wavy line.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Stay here.
Oh, thanks.
Well, I'm not going far.
Huh?
I'm not going far. Just want to get a better angle on it. I'm moving the camera. I'm going to look up that way.
It's farther out than you because you're blocking it out. Now it's just at your left elbow to me. But it's in front of you.
I got nothing.
I don't know. Head on back.
Whatever this was, it hung around for about 15 minutes and then disappeared, not to make a return the entire weekend. It's like a romantic candle at dinner, bro.
Every time I look up at the stars, I think it's like a planetarium up there because it's so massive with stars. I have cookies.
My dietary supplement.
Yo, what?
Cookies are my dietary supplement.
Oh, is it a dietary supplement?
Carbohydrates, sugar.
What?
Cookies.
Sugar, drink a lot amount, you'll be fine.
After a romantic dinner of cookies and Mountain Dew, and whatever those two had, it was back to investigating. With only the owls to keep us company, we decided to monitor the rest of the night from the van. Did you hear that? What? That was the... Whoops. Yep. Whoop. 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 Here. That was a train. That is a train. You can feel it. You hear it?
No.
I live by a train. I know a train when I feel it. After checking the audio again and again, there was no whoop on recording. This is the second time that we had heard an audio phenomenon on the property with no corresponding evidence, and it wouldn't be the last. As the sun arose on day 2 of our investigation, we were greeted to another series of whoop calls from over the ridge to the west.
Want to go walk down by these apples?
Not until everybody's up.
No.
I really want to call back. No. Do you hear that over there?
No, Ollie.
Now did you hear it? After reviewing the audio recording from the teepee structure, we found the sequence you just heard of what we believe to be a whoop followed by 3 tree knocks from about 5:30 a.m. We're going to head over that way. Well, actually, we're all going to head over to the mound area and start there, and I'm going to run an EMF sweep there.
I'm going to do the K2 to
What's
help
this?
you out with that.
Oh, okay, so everything on here is a sighting that has happened on his property, so it was just a nice picture of his
What
property.
did it say?
That's a black cat that was on trail cam. There's like screams and stuff. These are Bigfoot, and these are footprints that he found.
He's
Okay.
up a couple months.
And there's a big cat over there.
Because I want to go to the boneyard.
You guys can go wherever you want.
I don't know where it is, though.
It's,
Down that road.
yeah, the boneyard is,
Because I want to know what the heck that voice is.
Roughly right here.
yeah, in this area.
Because I'm starting to get mad.
Yes. We spent the morning combing through the dense woods of the Hyden Adventure, but the coolest thing that I found was this carnivorous pitcher plant.
Where? Sure enough.
After a fruitless attempt to find what Craig refers to as the boneyard, we took a break and then asked him to take us out there. So when you found this originally...
There was 3, like, actually I think it was probably in this area right here from the stump, in the pines there, and just behind Luke, and right in here, were 3 dead deer. And, you know, and there's 3 dead deer because I had 2 doe heads and the buck, and I grabbed the buck's head, because that's the way I am. And when I came back the next year, in the fall, so that was, again, another year, all I could find were a few bigger bones, and I put them on here.
So when you found them, what was the, like...
They were bones, but 3 entire skulls, and probably hundreds of bones here.
So no meat, no nothing.
Nope,
They've
and
been eaten.
even the back, you know, the rib cage and the backbone should be just one piece. It wasn't like that. It was just bones.
We have a fire going, the s'mores are laid out, and Craig and Barb will be joining us shortly to stake out under the carport. Tonight we'll be trying a few things to try and get the attention of anything that's out there, including live music.
They asked me this afternoon if any of our neighbors ever heard anything, and I told them like a couple times Janet had called you and said, what the F is that? What were the noises you heard?
No more screams.
Okay.
Because it happened 3 days before that, and I was raking the yard.
Yeah, I
It was in
remember.
that swamp.
Yeah.
I went right in the fucking house and turned the TV up real loud.
You did.
Just, you know, I knew what it was. I'm like, they're right over there. One house.
And you said after finding Bigfoot was out here that it kind of intensified, like the howls, the screams and stuff.
Right. We never heard any of that shit. But until they come and they do wood knocks and we're howling all over the frickin' thing. And then, like, progressive. Well, then the very next night, we had a wood knock and my cousin was walking in. After they left, the very next night, she's walking in my backyard. Your mom's been in my backyard, kind of, so she knows what I'm talking about. He was bear hunting there as he's walking in, and I'm on the deck waiting for him after dark, yard lights on, wood knock, 50 yards away. He turned his rifle around and then bloop, hot-footed it.
Yeah.
So it's like they called and they woke up
Stirred
something.
everything up.
Yeah. And ever since it's been, you know, we know they're around. Coyotes.
Back that way, right? Right back that way.
I don't know, but I heard coyotes.
I heard something, but I couldn't hear it.
What the fuck?
What did you see?
Listen back here.
What did you see?
I didn't see nothing.
Okay, what did you hear?
Lots of shit back here going on. Right? Well, like coyotes and maybe
Okay.
a dog thing.
Did anybody see it?
No.
There was a blue orb that just went through. It came out from behind my phone and it went whoop, that way, right back there. And that's why, right when you said holy or whatever you said, you know,
Yeah. Shoo.
yeah, it was.
Shoo.
I didn't hear anything. I thought it was a flashlight beam though, but it just went.
I heard something, but I don't know what it was. Right now I can't explain it.
It wasn't like that. It wasn't a beam across. It was like somebody shining a light across, a really tight beam, like an orb.
Like was it a pin size or something?
No, bigger basketball.
That's pretty cool. Then And me and Ma heard something at the exact same time in the same place. Right, Ma? Was it the same place?
Yeah, it was back here.
I didn't make
Yeah.
correlates.
That was really cool.
That's paranormal crap.
Or Bigfoot. Bigfoot's supposed to be orbs too, you know? But yeah, no, I swear to God. I had the thermal up and I didn't see anything, but from behind my phone, it shot out and off. And that was the exact same time that you said over there. And that's why I said, what did you see?
Okay.
You know, there's a light in the porta potty with that.
No.
And
Probably back that way.
it's at the exact time Barb's coming back. We'll just put that out there.
They were way back, though. They were just coming out of the porta
Right, but
potty.
they're coming from a regular flight. They're coming
Correct,
this
yeah.
way. And if this really does have something to do with her,
Or anything.
you know, that she's an angel and all whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I think. This was really interesting, but you kept saying the same thing. It shot out of your phone, on this side of your phone. I don't get that. Does that mean it was between me and you?
No. No.
Was it
So if
behind
I'm
us?
looking like this,
Okay.
it came from behind. It came from out there. Like I'm looking at my phone and I saw the orb go like that. Like my thumb.
Okay.
But it was right between you and the final post of this thing. It went that way into the woods. Like from that sign there, back there.
Okay. So, So do you think this orb? Just so you know, not a lot of birds talk at night.
I know.
Okay. So in your opinion, was the thing in the field?
It was past.
In the orb? Or was it?
It was past that white sign right there, the wood knock sign. It was past that, in the
So
woods.
it was in the woods?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it was behind my phone out, but it would have been out at the sign and back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is
it wasn't
that possible
close.
you picked it up on that?
I just watched it and I didn't.
But it could be so very small. How can you save all this shit so fast?
I think it's this one. Shh. Yeah, this one. So you're listening right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been just behind my phone.
Were you tracking it?
No.
I mean, with your phone, when you started moving your phone, were you trying to track it?
No, I was just scanning.
Okay. Play this almost to the end. I'll say pause. I want to see something. Okay.
This is tree, this is
I'll
tree.
play it through. It's almost like I saw something. I don't know if this is right.
It would have been right at the last couple seconds, because as soon as I saw it, I put it down to talk to you, and you were already talking at me. So I think I was aimed here and it was already past it.
Okay, this is my point. Stop right there. Shouldn't this have stayed clear the whole time? Because all of a sudden you have a thing going across that way. I'm saying like a creature. You see that? You have that long one? If you back up just a smidge. Okay. That Jesus Christ.
I can hear him coming.
I hear a thumping sound over there.
Okay. Now play it through and I want to see what happens there.
There is like a little bit of a distortion. Shh. It's like a bubble of a distortion, but it's not heat. Right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something's going through.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know enough about your equipment.
Okay,
You know.
like it's a little bit bigger than the circle here.
Yes.
And it just goes off. After the excitement of the blue orb, it was time to bring in some live music. Campers have told stories of Sasquatch being drawn into their camps at night by music. The creatures have even been known to stand just beyond the firelight and on rare occasions seem like they're playing or singing along.
So, as long as you're here, go out and do a Bigfoot call. Do
A
the
whoop
very-
or a howl? What do you want me
a
to do?
howl. The best freaking one you've ever done.
Can I do a whoop? I do
One
it with my
at
parrot.
a
You did it wrong.
See, these are Craig rules.
One at a time.
I can't do that well. I'm average.
I sound like an elephant when I do mine,
Yes.
so.
Yes.
Is that a good thing or bad thing?
All right.
Not good. Okay, so everybody, get your equipment at the ready.
11:04 p.m. Saturday, 23rd. There's something moving back there now.
I heard that.
Could have been like a deer running, but there was something moving over there.
Probably eating the apples and you do that.
Fathom, we could do a call and response. You do it out one way, I'll do it out the other. Whoops. Derek, you and me can go down here to the edge by the generator,
All right.
and then Fathom and Luke can go kind of over by the porta potty. So we put some distance, and you three can listen in here.
We'll do our very best.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Fathom's got a thermal. You guys got a thermal?
Yeah.
Okay. You got a walkie, guys?
Alright, I'm gonna let out a whoop then.
You heard enough of it.
Alright, we're coming back in.
That's the one I heard last night. Okay. if they're even real.
But that could be Bigfoot too.
This is good.
I'm gonna go in my car.
Now, we're not saying that these owl hoots are Bigfoot related by any means, but they are a very important part of our story, as you will see at our final day at Hyden. As Sunday morning rolled around, I was the first one up at base camp, so I decided to take a solo hike over to the edge of Craig's property and the ridge where beyond had come the whoops we heard the past 2 days. At first I didn't hear anything, so I started walking back towards base camp. I got about halfway when the whoops began. I got out my audio recorder and started taping. As I reached the ridge overlooking the woods and the neighbor's land, it was almost as if I had surprised whatever was making the noise and it cut off mid-whoop. After that, it makes a kind of uh-oh sound followed by silence. I noticed 3 deer playing off in the woods directly in front of me, but I don't believe the whoops were made by them. I remarked to the camera and the audio about the deer, which in reply, I receive a single owl hoot. There's a deer straight ahead of me. So we had our security cameras aimed down this trail for the last couple days, and we hung a jar of peanut butter about 7 feet in the air, and we came back and checked it every morning, but it doesn't seem like anything has interacted with it at all. And I'll go back and check it. We're about to head out here and make sure nothing has done anything to it. We have 1 apple over here still.
Yeah.
One apple back there.
I don't know what that is.
We have 1 here. And then there's 1 and 2 back there still. We had these out here all weekend. From Friday night we put them out, right? And yeah, it was Friday night we put these apples out in this area, and no deer have come through and eaten them, no bears, no nothing has even touched them. So does that mean that something is keeping them away from this area, or does it mean that nobody wants them? Are they contaminated by something or what? I mean, these 3 would have been on the security camera that was up on the ridge right there, but I put the two back there that are off camera. You can't see them from where we were shooting, as kind of like a gift. I mean, like, you can come have these apples for free. You don't have to even be on camera. And still nothing came through to get them. We made our way to our final stop, the large teepee structure where we left apples and another jar of peanut butter. What we were about to get was the biggest surprise of the weekend.
There's an owl sitting at the top of the teepee. On this thing. Come here. There's an owl sitting right there looking back. Do you see it?
Yeah. Good eye.
Just flew away. Another big bird. I don't know if it was an owl.
Throughout history, owls have had a strange paranormal connection. Think back to every scary haunted house scene in a movie. I bet you heard an owl. We already talked about Sasquatch being believed to mimic other animals, such as birds, owls, cows, and even machinery. Some UFO researchers believe that once a person has been abducted, they will start seeing owls more frequently, and it is possible that owls represent a screen memory. Instead of seeing an alien standing before you, you see and remember an owl instead. Could this owl be a screen memory? Did we really just see a Bigfoot? I don't know that I would go that far. What we do know from talking from wildlife biologists is that this owl is still branching, meaning it hops from branch to branch and it cannot fly yet on its own. So how did it get on the top of the teepee? There's no significant trees or even branches for it to have hopped up from. Well, that's definitely not what we expected to find back here. But as you can see, the peanut butter jar is still hanging there, and I didn't want to go close enough to see if it actually still was undisturbed, but I assume so. And you can see that all of the apples are still hanging up underneath there. No one has disturbed those either. And it's ironic that you hear these owl sounds around the Sasquatch and the weird activity, and then to come out here right when we're about to leave and find an owl sitting on what we believe is the Sasquatch structure. Alright, let's get out of here, guys. Although meeting our fluffy young friend brought an end to our weekend investigation, our owl coincidences didn't stop just yet. On the way out of the Hyden Adventure, our van blew a T-fitting in the radiator line that we were unable to fix on location. We called a friend to bring his truck and trailer up to pick us up and bring the van home. Ma and Fathom left in Ma's vehicle. The GPS kept turning them around in circles and even told them to turn around. Not just one, but both their GPSs did the same thing and would not let them cross the bridge back into Wisconsin. On his way up to get Luke, Derek, me, and the van, our friend's trailer blew a tire, and the turbo went out in his truck, forcing him to turn back. Craig was nice enough to give the three of us a ride back to Green Bay, where Mom met us to take us the rest of the way home. Now, back up right before we called our friend to come get us. He and his wife were having a fire in their backyard, and we found out the next day that his wife was visited for the first time by, you guessed it, an owl, which was right above their fire in the trees. Could all these owl synchronicities be connected, or is it just a lot of coincidences? Whatever reason, it felt like something didn't want us to leave, or wanted us to come back. Monday morning, we picked up the $3 part that we needed, and Ma and I drove back up to fix the van. Craig took us back out on the property to check our gifts one last time. All right, here we're back at the stick structure, and day 4, the peanut butter still hasn't been disturbed. 1, 2, 3. 4 apples. None of them have been touched yet. Throughout Craig's property are shooting lanes that he has clear-cut for hunting. At the edge of the road of one of these such lanes is what Craig calls a snow load tree, because the tree is bent over from the weight of the snow over the winter. He stopped to note that it seemed as if this particular tree was purposely bent over to create a curtain so you couldn't see down the lane. Hanging from the tree was a single, fluffy owl feather. My friend Hyden here may have been the only Bigfoot that we saw with our own eyes, but that doesn't mean that they're not here. The evidence that we've collected and the audio that we've recorded could indicate that there's more going on this property than meets the eye. On behalf of Barb and Craig and the whole CAPS team, we invite you to come out to the Hyden Adventure, look at the evidence yourself, and make your own decisions. We'll see you next time.
Me and Barbara discussed this, and see, I say stuff, and she'll say, I don't know what he's going to say. You are the only paranormal team, paranormal investigators we're going to let investigate this property.
Wow.
That would be great.
That's very appreciative, man. I know Ethan will be happy to hear that we can come back because
Except for Ethan, he can't come.
Okay.
Don't tell him that.
Thank you.